Hello, fellow brewers, and cheers. This is the ESB. Came out at 5.9%. I know it's a bit cloudy, it's not very clear and such, blah, but it's the only beer I've got left. There's a Citra vacant kicked, I think on Thursday. In the middle of brewing right now, just outside, got the started the boil, so there's about 55 minutes to go on that, so I thought I'd come and do a video. What am I brewing? Well, I've gone for another vacant Gesture style pale ale, because that keg that I just had, the Citra vacant, was fantastic, and it went rather quickly, so I thought I'd better get another one on. This time I've gone with Citroen Galaxy. Now, I don't have any Challenger at the minute. I'm still waiting for my order to come. So I did the Citra for boil as well as throughout. So I went Citra at the boil, 60 minutes, just enough to get 21 IBUs. And then I added for flame out, I've got I think it's 20 grams of 20 grams of Galaxy and 20 grams of Citra. Then for dry hop, it's 15 grams of Galaxy and 22 grams of Citra, and the same again for the 5th day dry hop. So the 2 dry hops. And that's that really. Everything else is pretty much as it should be. Although the yeast, I'm using the yeast cake from the ESB to do the pale. And yeah, I've gone from dark to light. Should be interesting then, shouldn't it? So yeah, this is the ESB. It's on the hand pull. And the other reason why I'm drinking it is because it's bloody tasty. Really tasty. So at 5.9%, as I said, a bit stronger than I was imagining. The SO4 went mental. I've never known it get that low. I think it finished at 1008, I think it was. So making it 5.9%. Now, I've never had SO4 get that low before. Quite often it sticks at about 1020. Quite often does, and it takes ages to get it back going again. But yeah, it went mental this time and went down to 1008. So obviously it likes its malts, likes its malty beers, which this is quite a malty beer. Yes, and it's only lunchtime really, and I'm having a 6% nearly beer. Not the best plan. Bear with me, I've got to pause because my little one's shouting. Sorry about that, I had to pause for a minute. I had to rethread a conker. Joys of parenting. So, back to the old ESB. Now, it's a mighty tasty beer. It is only lunchtime, and I am drinking nearly 6% beer, and it's a bit naughty, hence why I'm only having a half. I haven't had my lunch yet. But as I say, I thought I'd do a quick video whilst I'm boiling and outside doing the brew. So what do we got to talk about? Well, let's have a little word about the youngest. Earlier in the week, he had his first hypo, and it went pretty bad. Well, I shit myself basically. I was out here doing a few jobs, and I heard shouting and such inside, and I thought it was the youngest was having a shouting match with the missus, and then she shouted at me. So I go in, and he's on the floor, he can't stand up, his legs gone, he's crying, he's talking gibberish. So I quickly picked him up, very quickly took a blood, because we didn't know which way it was going, what was going on, because we've never had a hypo before. So did a quick blood, so I was down to 1.9 blood sugars, which is pretty bad. It should be 4 and above, so 1.9 is really hypo. So quickly got there, because he was pretty gibberish by then, and he couldn't have eaten anything, so we had to use a glucogel and squirt it into his mouth, into the side of his mouth, and get him back up again. Yeah, that was pretty fucking terrifying for the first time. So that happened this week. Why did it happen? No idea. When we spoke to the nurse afterwards, she said it could be that because it was just after he'd eaten, he'd had his evening meal, and he'd had his injection before that to counter it, the insulin to counter it, and it may be that because it was a pasta, there may have been the fats with cheese, I think there was, and the fats in that might have slowed down the body processing the carbohydrates into sugars, because apparently that's what it does. So the insulin had gone racing up quicker than he got the sugars. It could be the fact that his body can still produce insulin on its own and may have had a burst of insulin of his own, which mixed with the insulin he'd had brought him right down. It's just one of those, apparently, just one of those things that can happen and will happen. So it was a learning curve, but he's all fine now. We're happy now that we've seen it. Now we know what to look for and see. We can deal with it quicker, get onto it quicker. So that's that. He's fine now. He's running around in his pants, playing games and with conkers and Paw Patrol at the minute, just like a normal 6-year-old, I guess. He doesn't want to get dressed, apparently. He wants to stay in his pants all day because he's ready for bed then, because he wants me to read the bedtime story. At the minute we're doing the wishing chair. He blightens the wishing chair and he's absolutely loving it, so he's ready for bed already. Yeah. Right. Football. Yeah. It's the Liverpool Arsenal today. So Arsenal top of the table. I think they're unbeaten still, so it'll be an interesting game. I've not really seen any of Liverpool this season. I've been too busy, which is probably a good thing, because from what I have seen, they haven't looked that good, and the scores and results aren't that great either. So yeah, we'll see how it goes today. Fantasy football wise, I've got 5 players left to play this week. I've got 39 points, but so far I've dropped 2 places already this week. Everyone seems to have done well. Cancelo, a lot of people had Cancelo, and I'd dropped Cancelo because he was doing nothing for me. You can only have 3 players, I know, so I had 3 City players. Goalkeeper, because he tends to keep a clean sheet, so he's always good for points. Bernardo, I went for Bernardo Silva, because he always seems to score it, but now he doesn't. I thought it would be a good choice. And obviously I've got Haaland. Everyone's got Haaland as captain, except Rusty, who's determined to stick with Salah, whatever happens. I think. I'm sure he must have gone for it this week. He must have. He has to have. I don't know. Anyway. So that's to come this afternoon. I'm looking forward to that. Be probably the first proper full game I'll have seen Premier League this season. Because I've been on like Saturdays, and I'm at work on a Saturday usually, and on a Monday night I'm in bed early because I'm up at 4. So I've not really watched them. Not really had the opportunity. So it'd be nice to see them on a Sunday. And because I'm brewing, I promised the missus I would do toad in the hole. So I've got to make a toad in the hole. It's always easy. It's much easier than doing a Sunday dinner, that's for sure. I think that's pretty much all to talk about this week. As I said, the beer's brewing now. That will be a Vacant Gesture, Galaxy and Citra, which will be nice. The ESB's on. And then the next, I've got all my, that was it, malt miller delivery. So I spent about 180 quid on malt miller the other day. A sack of Maris Otter, sack of Pilsner malt, and then loads of hops. Not so much hops for aroma. Not so much aroma hops, more like Fuggles. I've got some Willamette, some Cascade, some Tettnang, some Bramlin Cross, Fuggles, East Kent Goldings, I think, First Gold as well. Because I just wanted to have it all in. And while I was doing the order, I thought I may as well. I had some money from my birthday. I thought, yeah, I'll get some stuff. Got some wheat malt. So that I can do for the next brew after this one will be the Harvest Pale Ale. I am definitely doing the Harvest. I've got all the malts ordered, and the yeast I'm going to use is, I'm not sure whether to do the SO4 now or Windsor. I've got Windsor yeast coming out anyone used Windsor before? Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. I'm sure it's meant to be a bit naff, but I've got a Midlands as well. So I've got across my Loof Midlands I could use SO4 obviously, or I might just use this next SO4 because this will have built up now. We'll be on to the third brew. No, because it will have a dry hop in it, so I won't be able to do that. So can that this SO4 will get a dry hop, so that idea. So anyway, I have got SO4. I've got SO4 Windsor and the Cross Maloof Midlands. And so any ideas? Which would you do with the Harvest Pale? I think it's an English ale yeast. I'll just double check that very quickly. So that's the next brew that I'll be doing. As I say, so I had this ordered, and I'm going to do the Cornish Tin Miners Ale as well after that. I think I fancy trying that as well. I've never known anyone do it, so it's another one of those that I think I'd be interested. Oh yeah, so it's American ale blend. Oh, so it's an American ale blend. So it'll just be SO5, USO5 then, not an ale yeast at all. I don't know why I was thinking it was going to be an ale yeast for that Harvest Pale. It's an American kind of beer, isn't it? So yeah, so I've got the lager malt now, Vienna malt. So yeah, so my malt miller order is going to be 3 boxes. So you got a 25 kilo sack boxed, another 25 kilo sack boxed, and then all the rest of my malts and hops and yeast boxed. And they delivered the 2 sacks, but not the rest, and that's been sat in the warehouse over the weekend, which isn't too great, is it? So all the hops and the yeast, the things you really don't want sat around in a warehouse, and it's been warm, not fantastically over warm, but warmer than I'd have liked. So yeah, that's a bit of a pisser. So that's coming tomorrow. Guys, because they switched to DPD, haven't they, from DHL? I used to like the DHL, but no, it's the other way around, is it? They were DHL. I don't know which one. No, I was trying to look at my phone, but it's there. I'm talking to you. You know which one. What I mean. They've swapped anyway. The previous, I like the previous deliveries. I knew the guy. He knew me, and he was always like asking about the beer and stuff. So he's having to carry these heavy boxes with sacks of grain in, and so yeah, he was always asking about the brewing's going and stuff. Don't know this new driver, but yeah, that's a bit annoying that having your delivery split in 2 and you only get half of it today and the other half's coming Monday, which yeah, disappointing, because I could have done with the Challenger, so I could have done it, put it in this brew, but there you go, it is what it is. Right, I will go now, and I've bored you enough, so if you got this far, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.